Hi, I'm Milas. I'm a grateful covenant addict. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? Right. I'm talking about the people in the back that's cross-talking. Can you hear me? Go. I want to give thanks to my higher power I choose to call God and the fellowship of you people in this room for being here for me. Before I share, I want to take a moment of silence for the addict who still suffers in and out of these rooms. But I also want to take a moment of silence for my sponsor. He getting married today, and I told him I'd take a moment of silence so a blessing can go up for his marriage. Thank you. Before I share, I want to read something from out of Just for the Day, from October the 10th. Consequences. Before we got clean, most of our actions were guided by impulse. Today we are not locked into this type of thinking. Ever been tempted to do something even when you knew the results would be disastrous? Ever thought about how much it was going to hurt to do what you were tempted to do, then proceed to do it anyway? It is said that there are consequences to every action. Before we got clean, many of us simply didn't believe this, but now we know exactly what it means. When we act, we know there will be consequences to pay. No longer can we decide to do something in ignorance when we know full well that we won't like the price we'll have to pay. There's a prize and a price. It's okay to act despite the consequences if we're willing to pay the price, but there's always one to pay. Just for the day, I will think about the consequences of my actions before I take them. It's real important that we remember that. To use is to lose. I don't want to hang around Scrap Iron, Low Down, and Bullet, because they're in the alley. They've been in the alley since 1969. So I don't have to sit here and think about, maybe I should go around there. But the book said, wait a minute, hold up. The book said, don't go around people, places, and things. So why would I think that if they've been in the alley since 1969, that in 2013 something's going to be different? If I go around them, it's going to be consequences to pay. I'm talking about people, places, and things. No matter how much clean time you got. If you go around them, something bad going to happen. Now, let me go right into the different drugs I use. Orange sunshine, purple microdot, window pane, trees, strawberry dabs, heroin, cocaine, and over in Japan, I use some stuff with a white bottle with a blue top. And we called it blue top. And to today, I don't know what that stuff is. So why would I think that something that comes from Brazil, through Panama, through Mexico, through Kansas City, through St. Louis, to Chicago, to the west side, to the little gym shoe boy that's 15, he done got it from Scrap Iron, Low Down, and Bullet, he gonna give it to me a 9 straight. What you think it's gonna make me do? It's gonna make me throw up. And why do I gotta pay somebody $10 to throw up? How was it, man? I throw it up. Oh man, I'm going over there. What you finna do? I'm finna pay somebody $10 to throw up? That's crazy, man. I don't feel like throwing up. I've been clean since January the 19th, 1993. I got 20 years clean. I'm going on 21 years. I've been making meetings since January the 19th, 1993. I've been staying away from people, places, and things since January the 19th, 1993. I've been making meetings, calling my sponsor, and reading literature and listening to the readings and not getting up, walking back and forth since 1993. I've been following the directions of the people that was here before me. I understand. I ain't confused at all of what's going to happen. It used to be like 33 of us growing up. We was real tight. It's 4 left. They all dead. Mother and father finding them with a spike in their arm in the basement. Rigor mortis done set in. People done shot them. People, in the horrors of your addiction in the name of one more. I don't want no more. And it ain't just drugs killing them. Diabetes and the neglect of their body and stuff like that. I didn't even know what kind of message I was going to give coming up in there. I know one thing I'm going to give, though, and I'm going to talk about it. Diversity is our strength. I remember coming to a meeting about 19 years ago in SWANA. I think it was on 63rd and Central. And I had told the brother that came with me that I was going to try to find me a white speaker for a meeting that I was chairing. And he said, well, where you going to go do that at? I said, in the white neighborhood. I'm going to 63rd and Central. And when we got there, we was the only 2 black people in the whole meeting. After the meeting, he said, did you find your speaker? I said, that lady right there. I got a lot out of what she said. I'm going to ask her to come out to the west side and share. And she said, where is this meeting at? And I said, it's on Jackson and Troy. She said, is it safe to park over there? I said, there's plenty of parking. They got a vacant lot right next door. And bring a posse, right? She brought 3 van loads of white people to the meeting, right? And everybody was looking at me when they came in. Milas, who was all these white people, right? They recovering addicts. They come to support the speaker, right? But what happened is the spirit of the meeting changed, and the topic and what we shared about was what was inside our heart. One guy said, I still call y'all niggas. I just don't call y'all niggas as much. I'm getting better, right? And the thing is, he was getting honest. The same guy, it was a breakfast meet. He came back to the breakfast meet and cooked for us for like 2 months. Used to put garnishes on the plate and all that, right? But until you get over there and get with other recovering addicts to find out how their spirit is, you got this cloud up, right? The consequences could be the disease cutting you off from the diversity, which cutting you off from broadening your base and the higher your point of freedom, right? Your ignorance could be what's cutting you off from that, right? Thinking that they ain't got nothing to share, right? That you can't get no spiritual awakening in the hood or in the ghetto or however you want to perceive it, right? You cutting yourself short. I've been doing this for 20 years, right? I got a sponsee in this meeting right now with 13 days clean. That don't mean because I got 20 years, I don't sponsor people that's got that less of a time. I ain't got no big head. I share everywhere. And I still ain't got no, the message is still simple, right? Just don't use. Forget how much clean time I got. I ain't getting high. Period. After I read all this literature and go over all these steps with all these sponsees, right? The bottom line is just don't use. Me and him went over the symbol yesterday, right? And I said the first word in the book is simplicity is the key to our program. So after you read all this stuff and get a dictionary, right, and get deep into this literature, the bottom line still, after you learn all the steps, is just don't use. Just don't pick up. If you can't see it, touch it, or smell it, you can't use it, right? Because the number one answer on the Family Feud is this, right? People that make meetings won't use. And people that make some meetings might use. And people that don't make no meetings, they're going to use. Real simple. This crazy stuff about stay away from them people, you'll get brainwashed. They don't know what they're talking about. I don't. All I know is I got 20 years, 4 months, and 6 days clean. That's what I know. Think of how many people I done seen come in and out. Thinking there was a easier, softer way. Crazy, man. And another thing before I finish talking. Alcohol is a drug. And so is nicotine. Alcohol killed my parents. My daddy died of cirrhosis of the liver, and my mother died of high blood pressure from drinking fifths of alcohol. They dead. So if you think you can drink a beer and all that old other stuff and it ain't drugs, it is a drug. It'll kill you. I smoked cigarettes for 37 years. and developed emphysema. I ain't smoked a cigarette in 5 years. I'm saving my life. It almost killed me. Let me tell y'all what happened to me 5 years ago when I stopped. I started coughing on North Avenue. And I was trying to catch the bus to get home, and the bus didn't come. So I decided to walk, and could walk 2 houses. And I couldn't stop coughing. I was on the curb, and I was hoping the bus come, and I just couldn't stop coughing. Finally, the bus came, and I got home, and I couldn't stop coughing. I got a 21-year-old son, and I got 20 years clean. So he don't know nothing about daddy with the gin in the freezer and the holes in the can and the ashes and all that crazy stuff, right? All he knows is I've been clean, right? So he heard me coughing. He's like, what's wrong? He got scared and called the paramedics. They came, and I told them, I just need some sleep. I'll be all right. It's the cigarettes that's killing me, right? But I'm coughing, and I'm thinking that's normal to cough, right, if you smoke. That's an indication that something is wrong, that this ain't no good for you. Just like when you're driving the car and the light flashing. That's telling you there's something wrong with the car, right? But I sent the paramedics away and couldn't stop coughing. Then I couldn't get out of the bed because I couldn't move because the cough was paralyzing me, right? I couldn't even get to the washroom. I used the washroom on myself in the bed, right? 1 and 2. I couldn't move. I'm talking about from cigarettes, right? Finally, he got scared and left, right? And my daughter called the paramedics. They came, and 5 firemen carried me down the steps. I still can't breathe. I get to the hospital. They give me these inhalers and stuff like that. And the guy said, you okay? I said, I ain't coughing no more. He said, you ain't coughing no more, right? The doctor told me, if you smoke another cigarette, you're going to die. You know what I told him? I don't want no more. Real simple. That's all I heard is, you're going to die, right? I didn't you know what, man? I know you've been to medical school for 12, 18 years. You crazy. I ain't going to listen to you, right? I'm going to smoke another cigarette to prove that you wrong. Hell no. I believe the man, right? I try to cross the street when people smoking cigarettes, right? My 2 sisters, right? They got terrified because they love their little brother, right? They came to my house, changed all the blinds, all the curtains, washed all the pillows, right? I'm talking about wiped off all the plants, right? Changed all the sheets, right? My landlord got scared. She loved me to death. Took up the carpet, put down a wood floor. All these people did this stuff to get the nicotine out of my house, right? The smell and all that, right? So I could breathe, right? It's real important, man. They told me don't put smoke where air go. If you smoking just for the day, you ain't got to smoke no more. You can save your life. Let me tell you this story, man. I knew this lady, right? A friend of mine. We grew up together, right? She used to smoke 8 packs of cigarettes every day. 8 packs, right? I told her, girl, you need to slow down, right? She didn't listen to me. She got pregnant, right? Started smoking 10 packs a day. I told her, if you don't quit smoking them cigarettes, when that baby be born, it's going to be marked, right? Sure enough, when the baby was born, right there at the end of the spine, the baby had a little butt. It's a joke, y'all. A little butt at the end of the spine. Nah, that was a joke. I'm just kidding. But anyway, that probably could happen. I just had to say that. No. But leave them doggone cigarettes alone. They ain't gonna do you no good. Back to this other stuff. You know, all I know is this. Yesterday is a canceled check. And tomorrow is a promissory note. And today is the only cash you got, so spend it wisely. Right? If you don't smoke no cigarettes today, you got a chance. If you don't pick up no dope today, you got a chance, right? If you don't cuss your wife out today, you got a chance your marriage gonna last, right? If you don't hit your girlfriend in the eye, there's a chance you won't go to jail. Speaking of jail, I heard Ken up here talking about that, right? And I was sitting there thinking about, because I never talk about that part of my life, right? I try not to accent the negatives, but it still is a part of my story. Right, the only thing is they sent me to jail for selling drugs at the White House, right? Because when I went into the Marines, I said, "Look, man, I'm finna guard the president. I ain't finna work nowhere else in the I ain't shooting nobody. I ain't stabbing nobody with no bayonets. I'm gonna stick around the president. That way I can wear dress blues and stay clean and go to these balls and with the tray. That's what I do, right? But then when I got there, I got a bright idea. Maybe if I sell some dope, I could double my money, right? And come home and have a good time. And guess what happened? I got caught. Guess what happened when I got caught? They locked me up. Right, they wanted to give me 8 years 11 work. That's what they said. We finna give you 8 years 11 work. You know what I told them? I'm calling my mama. Forget all this tough guy stuff. I got my mama, right? So my mother came and got me a civilian lawyer, and he got me 9 months instead of 8 years 11 work, right? But I had already been in there 3, so I ended up doing 10. But it was crazy, man. The guy in the next cell was John Hinckley, the one who shot Reagan, and he had 7 U.S. Marshals guarding him, right? And I'm thinking, I ain't did all of that. Why I got, but to them, I'm just as bad as a criminal as him, right? I'm crazy. I done lost my mind. I don't even try to talk about that part of my life, but it still exists. I don't want to go back to jail no more. I had a nightmare in there. Woke up one day, and the guard had the flashlight. He said, what's wrong with you? I said, I ain't supposed to be here. I don't like this, man. Stand clear, cell 11. Shout it out. Clear, clear, bang, right? And the door slam is crazy, man. No. If you don't get high, you ain't got to go to jail. That ain't no place for no human being. You know what I'm saying? I'm a single parent. I raised my boy. I'm in a relationship now. The lady I met on Facebook, you know, moved to here from Tennessee with her 2 kids. You know, we going through a little something, but hey, I mean, that's how it go. Everybody going through something in their relationship. My son, the reason I'm saying this because there might be single fathers in here, or it might be some women here who think all men is bad and they don't raise their kids, they don't take care of their kids. I am. Okay, my wife don't pay no ex-wife rather, she don't pay no child support. I didn't need that, I got this, I'm the man, you whatever, if I need some help, I ask you. Thanks for the 9 months, for you having him, but I got this. Now, I had a stepdaughter from that relationship. When we broke up, she stayed and lived with me. So my stepdaughter 36 and my son 21, right? So I ain't that bad of a guy. You know, I took care of her, and as far as she concerned, in her eyes, I'm her daddy, I'm her vision of hope, right? And I try to keep that, right? I try to stay correct, but I ain't perfect. I just want to paint the picture to everybody that I'm not perfect. I do stuff. I ain't no recovering addict with 20 years and walk on water, right? I do crazy stuff sometimes, like get short-tempered. I got defects of character, but I also realize that my character defects is trying to finish the job that my addiction didn't do. My character defects is trying to knock me off because my addiction failed. That's why you got to work on this literature. That's why you got to work steps, right, to keep the character defects locked up. It's arrested because it says, after coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. We suffer from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can be arrested at some point, and recovery is then possible. The bottom line is, you got to get to that point. We read that so fast, we skip, and you don't, what did it say? It said, at some point. You got to get to that point. Once you get to that point, recovery is then possible. Because you're trying to recover from a helpless, hopeless state of mind. To drown out the subliminal thoughts that tell you that you can't win, that you can't get this, that you can't do this program, that you can't stay away from people, places, and things. That drugs, you're going to die like that, right? Which is crazy. Animals, when they go to water holes and they drink out the water holes that's contaminated and they throw up, they don't go back there no more, right? But human beings got the power of self-will that when they can take something that make them throw up and keep taking it, shoving it down their throat, even though they throwing it up. That's your body telling you that don't belong in there. Food's supposed to go in your body. Food that's energy, right? Food that make you up and lively and all of that. Not food that make you want to lie down and I'm tired, right? That ain't no energy. Think about it. Watch what you eat. And I ain't trying to sit up here and preach, but these are the things that I learned that's helping me in my recovery. I'm speaking a lot of places lately, y'all. I don't know why, but that's what God wants me to do, and that's what he wants me to say, right? I'm picking up a lot of sponsees lately, too, but that's okay, too. I'm just giving away what was so freely given to me, right? And all my sponsees ain't black. I don't believe in that crazy stuff, man. I'm from Earth. I'm from the United States. All my friends ain't black. All the people who hold me in high regard ain't black. I got all kind of friends. When I was in the Marines, I used to be with all kind of people. I'm a nice guy, and I don't beat myself up to say, oh, man, you terrible, right? And I'm going to sit up here and talk about myself to make me the worst dope fiend in the world. So you could think I fit in. No, I'm not finna do that, right? And another thing I ain't finna do is I ain't finna make nobody make me feel bad about doing good. I take care of my boy. What happened with him was, by me making all these meetings and reading all this literature and talking to my sponsor, he got his car booted, right? And I was like, well, boy, we need to put our network together so we can get this boot off your car, right? And he was like, Daddy, I got it. I said, no, we need to call your network, call mine, and we'll get the boot off. He said, Daddy, I got it. I said, boy, he said, I got it. And he was basically saying, all the stuff that you taught me, I got it. I don't need your help. I'm 21 now. I'm grown. You don't got to be daddy. You know how you got grown kids and you try to come to their rescue? Well, he don't need me to come to his rescue. 2 hours later, the boot was off. So all of the stuff that I was trying to do worked. You know how you get people up here talking about their kids ain't doing this, their kids ain't doing that. Everybody's kids ain't like that. Somebody's kids is really doing what they say. And we need to talk about the positives, right? He in his 3rd year of college, about to go into his 4th. He got 3 jobs up there in DeKalb, 1 down here. He don't ask me for nothing. Daddy loan me $5, give me $20. Nothing, y'all. He don't ask me for nothing. And sometimes that kind of like, boy, don't you, it's too late. He grown up. It's over. He grown now. I want to try to, but just give him some vision, right? Just encourage him, right? And stroke his ego and just pull his self-esteem up, stuff like that. The stuff that I have to do with him now is spiritual in nature. And I found out that's the solution to my problem. The solution to my problem is spiritual in nature. I hope I'm touching somebody in here who knew, right? I'm talking about who brand new, who's struggling with this program, right? Who thinking that they can take a drink or snort some heroin or smoke some cocaine or do something crazy, right? Like steal from their mama or don't go see their kids, right? Because the era I growed up in, when I grew up, there wasn't no mothers on TV. None, right? Uncle Bill was raising Buffy and Jody. Ben Cartwright was raising his 3 sons. Tarzan was raising Boy. Charlie Chan was raising his #1 son, right? All the people on there, I'm saying about all the people on there. Fred McMurray had my 3 sons, right? Andy Griffin was raising Opie, right? They had single fathers on TV. I'm just telling, that's the vision I got, right? So I can raise my kid. I don't even remember when they finally put a woman on there. But that's the vision I got. Ain't nothing wrong with me why I can't take care of my son. And he turned out okay. So anybody in here that's a father, man, go get your kids. Take care of them. Talk to them. And you ain't got to hit them either. Communicate. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with talk? I ain't never whooped my son. I ain't never hit him. Never. Boy, you just do what I say. And when he don't, talk to him, right? Talk to him. Now, he got 15 one time, and he didn't do what I say. You know what I did? I called the police on him. Man, come get this one. I'm talking about once, man, in my whole life, right? One time he didn't do what I say. The police came and chewed him out. You don't want to listen to your father? There's all these kids out here, they ain't got no father, and they lit into him, and he called his mother, right? She came over, I called the police on her too. I don't want to hear it, right? I'm breaking my neck taking care of him. If you supposed to agree, we supposed to be on the united front, right? You supposed to ride with me. You don't co-sign this stuff. So it all worked out. That was only that one. I'm talking about that was only one time in 21 years, right? But this program worked. Get you a sponsor if you ain't got one, right? I hadn't talked or seen my sponsor for about a month and a half, right? And I'm riding down the street and I saw him passing in the car, and I rolled down the window. I said, man, I was going through something. I meant to call you. He said, what happened? You and your disease worked it all out? So I got to call my sponsor. I don't know it all. Even with 20 years, I still got to call him. He getting married today. God bless his heart. You know, he done found his little angel. And one day I'm going to get married again. You know, and I realized that she ain't going to do everything I say. And she going to be wrong sometime. And she got the right to be wrong. I ain't got to get the last word. I can surrender sometime. I'm learning all this stuff, and it ain't easy. Like the Kim was saying, it ain't easy. Everything ain't easy around here, man, but it's real simple. All you got to do is call somebody and get a second opinion, right, before you do something stupid. Like they tell you with them key tags, right? Call before you use, and not just drugs, but that sick thinking of yours before you do something stupid. Like pick up a pen in the office that don't belong to you. That pen don't belong to you. Get off that person's desk. And you think it ain't nothing but a pen because we like shiny things, right? That ain't your pen, though. It ain't gonna matter. Spiritually, it will. Just like me, putting money in the doggone newspaper thing and taking 2 newspapers. Why? You can only read one. Why would somebody take 2 newspapers? Just because the thing open and all of them there. We just addicts, man. We just one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. Crazy, man. Just impulse, right? Just got a compulsion. Let me take 2. Why? Because you getting away with something God see you? No, don't nobody else see you, but God do. So it mess up your spirit. Now your whole day messed up. Because you did something crazy, like take 2 newspapers. To anybody else, there's no consequence, but I just read you about consequences. The consequences is with your spirit. This is a spiritual program, right? The reason we hug people is because we feel their spirit, or we want to open up our spirit to them. I welcome you to come to the meetings that I make. Don't get stuck in your area, man. NA is a big, worldwide fellowship. Stagnation is no movement. The literature says we pick up information as we talk to members and do what? Visit various groups, right? Not the same group. Not the same group over and over and over and over. You'll get stuck spiritually, man. We talking about broadening the base, right? The higher the point of freedom. Freedom of what? Your spirit. We trying to let your spirit fly free. That's all I'm saying. You would get more out of this program if you open your mind. You know, I don't know if I talk too long. I hope I ain't insult nobody. I got 10 more minutes. So let me tell a joke. And I know y'all done heard it already, but I'm saying it anyway. The 2 men that was in the desert, and they in this Jeep, and that Jeep going to the woods, right? And this lion, the Jeep run out of gas, and the lion come out of the woods and start chasing them around the Jeep, right? So one of them reaching the Jeep and grab some gym shoes. And he said, why you grab the gym shoes? You can't outrun the lion. He said, yeah, but I can outrun your ass, right? This is save your own ass program, right? You can't make these meetings for your aunt, your cousin, your sister, or none of that, right? You got to make these meetings for you. You got to save your own ass. Now that you got 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, and a year, you still can't save your girl. You can't sponsor her. You got to save yourself. As much as you want to, it ain't gonna work. You got to work on you, because the program is by attraction and not promotion. She got to be attracted to the spirit in you that you really want to do this thing. You can't save nobody as much as you want to. You got to continue to save yourself, continue to make meetings for you, continue for your spirit to be jolly, and when somebody used, you got to welcome them back. My sponsee just came back from a relapse, and I didn't stand over him chewing him out. Man, don't you know you... I give him a hug, and we going to continue. That's what the book say. We got to welcome relapsers back, right? Because we don't run nothing. And the reason we sitting there is what? Not because we ate too much ice cream, but because drugs have become a major problem in our life. Not a minor problem, but a major problem. I don't really think I'm going to use today, right? Because I know oh man, it was terrible, man. Terrible. I'm talking about I snorted so much tack one day, I was too scared to go to the vet to get my dog. And my friend said, the vet don't care nothing about you being high. He just wants your money, but your disease, it's crazy, man. I was at the convention in Detroit, and I heard this story. A guy up there from Detroit told it about the blind lady. Y'all heard it? He said it was this blind lady, and she didn't have nobody look out for her, nobody take care of her, right? She was lonely and desolate, right? And finally she met this guy, and the guy started taking her places, doing things for her, right? And they developed a relationship, and he fell in love with her. And he said, will you marry me? And she said, I can't marry nobody I can't see. And as fate would have it, the hospital called and said somebody didn't donate her some eyes for her, right? So she got down to the hospital, and they put the eyes in, and she ran into the guy and found out that the guy was blind. And he said, he asked her again, will you marry me? And she said, I can't marry nobody that's blind. And he handed her a note. And on the note it said, I loved you then, and I still love you today. Please take care of my eyes. See, we come into this program blind, right? Blind and hurt and can't see nothing, right? Can't see our way out. And then finally we get some eyes and we able to see, and we don't want to sponsor nobody, right? We don't want to pick up no paper after the meet. We don't want to empty no coffee cups, right? We don't want to chair no meetings. Or the job, I got my job to do my kids. I got my kids back, so I can't spend no time with y'all. And you come up with all these kind of excuses because now you got some mind with your ungrateful ass. You can't help nobody no more because you got some eyes, right? The lady was ungrateful. After all that dude did for her, she still was ungrateful with her blind ass. You got to be on the lookout, man, because there's some internal and external forces up in here that could destroy us. They in here. The reason that we talk about a higher power in these meetings is that it implies that a lower power exists. There's some people in here, and when you say they ain't working on nothing, they in here to do whatever evil deeds they gonna do, right? But God bless them too, because the Spirit gonna move, because God, this God program, and God gonna have it his way. Everything gonna work out. I'm gonna say this last joke and I'm gonna be quiet. It was this guy who had everything. He was rich, right? Had all the servants, cattle, land, cars, everything, right? But he ain't had no faith. And he wanted to believe in God, right? He really, really wanted to. So what he did is he went on this pilgrimage, right? And he climbed this mountain. And he got almost to the top of the mountain, and he slipped and fell. And while he was falling, he started screaming, oh, God, Lord, help me. God, please help me, Lord. God, please help me, right? And a branch was sticking out. He grabbed a branch, and he was like, God, help me, Lord, please. And the branch started cracking. And he said, God, you up there? And God said, yeah, I'm up here. How can I help you? He said, God, Lord, help me, please, help me. And God said, the only way I can help you is if you let go. And the man said, well, isn't anybody else up there? He just didn't have no faith. You got to get this by blind faith. Recovery ain't nothing you can see, touch, or feel, right? You just got to have faith that if it can work in the life of another clean addict with some clean time, it can work for you. Let go and let God. I keep coming back.